Is this the zoom lens that you want? Well, let me try to answer that. If this is your first time watching me, I will take this very special occasion and say welcome to the channel. I do hope that you'll enjoy this video, and if you do, you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button because it does make a difference. So I initially bought this lens when me and Yoon was going to Norway to get some really cool shots of fishes, but we didn't really get that many fishes, so we didn't really get that much footage. But anyway, you can check out that vlog right here or here maybe, I don't know which side, but some of the sides. So the main reason that I bought this lens was so that I could get some really cool shots of Yoon standing in the water and fishing without having to be in the water myself. But then again, I did walk down into the water anyway with my camera bag because I want to get some extra cool shots, so yeah. You know how it is. The lens actually performed really good, and it was really good to have that like 70-200 focal length when you were standing quite far away. But this isn't a must-have lens, you know, like the Tamron 28-75 is. And the lens that I use most in Norway isn't this lens at all. It is actually the Zeiss Batis 85 f1.8. And if you want to watch that review, you can watch that here or here. Don't get me wrong here, this is a very good lens. It is lightweight, it is sharp as hell, and it is very well built and has an overall good feeling to it. But here in Sweden right now, this lens actually costs $1,800, which is kind of a hefty price for an f4 lens. I did compare this to the 2.8 version before I bought it, and I gotta say that this lens actually won me over by far, especially considering the weight and size of this thing. And the price of the 2.8 version is like insane. It is way too much money. The build quality of this lens is really good. It actually looks and feels like a really good pro lens. You get 4 different buttons on the side of the lens that controls the autofocus, so you don't have to go into the menu and switch it off that way. And you can also control the OSS, which is the optical steady shot of the lens. It also has these 3 customizable buttons on the front of the lens. I actually think that Sony should include this on more lenses. The zoom ring has a really smooth and exact feeling to it, and I really like the rugged rubber that is on here. It gives you that like professional feeling to it. It's like, yeah, I'm a pro with this lens. And the same basically goes for the zoom ring. It is really smooth, it is perfect, not too light. This is really good. It also comes with a tripod mount, and this is really good if you are using a tripod, so you don't have to put too much weight onto your camera's mount, so you can just put the plate here and then you can use it like that. And the biggest downside of this lens is the same as the Sony 16-35 f4, and that is that it doesn't have this O-ring on the mount, and that will allow dust and moist to get into your camera sensor if you're having some really bad luck. So if you're going to use this in the Sahara or Antarctica or here in Sweden, then be aware of this, alright? Okay, let's jump into the image performance. The first thing that I noticed with this lens was that it is really sharp. I have yet to notice any difference from the 70-200 in the sharpness of this lens. The aperture of f4 was the reason that I really didn't want to buy this lens and go for the 2.8 version instead. But when I actually got the lens and could experiment with it, I thought that the bokeh was way better than I actually expected. Especially if you go up to 200, then you just blow out that background. And also the OSS will help you to get those steady shots if the light isn't really on your side. The autofocus performance is insane, like all the other Sony lenses that I have, and I think that is more depending on the camera body than the lens. I don't really know, but if you do, please drop a comment below. But yeah, super fast and works flawlessly. Okay, so what about the video performance of this lens then? Personally, I don't think that this is a video lens, and if video is your main thing that you do, then I would probably go for a different lens. And I will recommend some lenses in the end of this video. But if you do use this for video, then it is super sharp in video mode as well, and it lets you get that really long reach, especially if you go up to the super 35 mode with your camera. Another cool thing is that you can actually mount this lens on a gimbal because it's so light, and that also gives you some cool things that you can do on the video side with this lens. I wouldn't, however, use this for handheld video if you go up above 85 or 100 millimeters, because then it gets way too shaky. So here's the thing, if you do a lot of vlog type videos or event films, then this lens is not for you. But if you do want to like have a lens that is really versatile, then the Tamron 28-75 is the perfect lens to have in your kit, and it is almost half the price of this one. But of course it all depends on what your shooting style is and what you want to achieve with a lens like this. If you shoot a lot of portraits and still images, then I do recommend this lens over the the 2.8 version, because this is much cheaper, you get more bang for the buck, and it is really sharp as well. The lens combo that I recommend if you do a lot of videos is the Tamron 2875 f2.8, which is an incredible lens, and the Zeiss Batis 85 f1.8, because then you got the video mode covered with the Tamron 2075, and then you got the portraits covered with the Batis 85, and then you can use the Batis to get those detailed shots when you really want to have them. And also because it has OSS, so you can do some really cool handle shots as well. And if you're a vlogger, I would recommend getting the Sony 16-235 f4, because that is a really good focal length if you are vlogging. Okay, so I hope that you got enough info in this video to decide if you want to buy this lens or not. And please do drop a comment below if you have any questions, or just want to like share your thoughts or share your decision if you bought this lens or not. I would appreciate that. And if you thought this video was good, then do give it a thumbs up, and also consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care. It looks like one of those fake coffee cups. It's like, yeah, that's a nice coffee. Yeah, I know.